We have a friend with us now. Is Todd there?
I'm here. Hey, Mark.
Are you there, Todd?
I'm here. Amen.
All right. I need your mouth right up to the mouthpiece there.
Okay.
This is President Trump's great lawyer in almost all his cases. And it's always a pleasure to have Todd Blanche with us. So, Todd, tell us what's going on in New York.
So, look, we learned over the weekend that after we had asked Alvin Bragg and his team to dismiss the case because you can't touch a president-elect if you're a state and local prosecutor, we learned over the weekend that they at least started the process of dismissing the cases by agreeing to ask for a stay of all proceedings for a week while they figure out what to do. So Judge Merchan, the judge on the case, agreed. So while we had expected an immunity decision today, there was no decision. While we had expected that the district attorney would submit a sentencing brief this weekend, there will be no brief, and there will be no sentencing on the scheduled date, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Now, that's not a total victory because the case should be dismissed, not stayed. So our hope and our expectation is that the DA is going to take the time this week to do whatever they need to do internally and then agree that the case has to be dismissed. So it was a great day for President Trump, a great day for all your listeners, a great day for the fight that we've had the past year and a half because it really started the process of ending this case.
Do they understand, do you think, at this point, that they literally have no jurisdiction?
Listen, I hope so, Mark. Like, you and I both went to law school, and so did they. And so...
yeah, but there are a lot of stupid guys in law school. They sitting in the back row there.
Look, the reality is you cannot... The idea that a state and local judge in a state and local jurisdiction that hates the president-elect, the idea that that judge could be able to sentence the president-elect up to 4 years in prison is absurd and obviously inconsistent with our Constitution, and they know that. They know that. So I think it's just getting there and getting them comfortable. And, President Trump won big, and he won in many ways because of this case and because of the other cases. The American people said, no, we're not going to stand for it. So, look, we'll see what happens, Mark. I mean, it's not a victory yet. We're going to keep on fighting this whole week and getting a brief ready in case we have to use it. But hopefully the case gets dismissed next week.
Okay, so if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do, where do you go next?
Look, it's really all hands on deck, and that means either going through the New York appellate process, going to federal court, or both. We still have the immunity decision that Judge Merchan has to rule on. Depending on how he rules, if he rules against us, we can appeal that immediately. So, look, our goal is to have this case dismissed. If we have to continue to fight through the appellate process to make sure President Trump is never sentenced and never has to walk into that courtroom again, then we'll do that too. So we honestly have a great group of lawyers. We're a great team, and we have a whole bunch of 5 or 6 different options available to us that if we have to use them, we'll use them. And so we're prepared, but look, we're cautiously optimistic because I think the American people, honestly, it was humbling for me as President Trump's criminal lawyer to see what the American people did on election night on November 5th, because it just proved everything we've been saying for the past year and a half. And so all we need to do is get the district attorney to recognize that. So
okay, well, he is what he is, Let me
that's right.
Let me tighten the screws just a little bit more on them. You know where I stand on this stuff. At some point, if you have to, you do the common law writ and you get to the Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court, you can go into federal district court, I guess, and work your way up that channel. But to me, this needs to be resolved, and I know you know this more than anybody, before he's sworn in. This has to be cleaned out of the way. So if New York's going to putz around, and then a federal district court, and then the appellate court, then the Supreme Court, it seems to me that the Supreme Court has a huge obligation to protect the executive branch to protect the office of the presidency, in particular, federal jurisdiction. We're talking about a federal campaign law and the supremacy clause. I mean, I can think of half a dozen things right off the top of my head, right?
That's right. That's right.
So you're still going to have to keep that in your back pocket, I think, just in case.
Listen, same page. Like when I told you we had 5 or 6 different options, if we have to, look, I want the American people, I want my job should be to disappear. The President of the United States does not need a criminal defense.
No, your job ought to be eventually somewhere in the Department of Justice. You need it, Todd. Go
ahead. I hope so. I would serve the President at any capacity.
I can tell you I was chief of staff over there under Reagan and Meese. You'd be good at, like, head of the criminal division as a perfect example. But anyway, go ahead.
I would love it. But my point is, my job is to let the President lead this country into January 20th and then take over. And so my hope is that we get this dismissed with the path of least resistance. I don't want to be in the news going to the Supreme Court. But you better believe if we have to, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Well, folks, Todd Blanche, really one of the best lawyers out there. He has been up against it. I mean, governments, which have unlimited resources, and he's beaten them. Todd, God bless you, my friend. Take care of yourself. We appreciate you.